The penultimate issue of the Golden Age of the Sith, entitled Pawns of the Sith Lord, really begins to build the momentum for the climactic battle awaiting us in the final issue. While the story primarily consists of both sides planning for the upcoming conflict, or refusing to do so, there's a great deal of character work that is done in the story. We really get a good sense of the kind of schemer Naga Sadow is, as his plan against the two factions begins to unfold. As in the previous issues, we begin with a text crawl. Fleeing from bad decisions in the Empress Teta system, young hyperspace explorers Gav and Jory Daragon fly off into the unknown. Their ship, Starbreaker 12, chooses a random course, a fateful route that takes them to the fabled Sith Empire, where they are captured and held prisoner. Unknowingly, Gav and Jory have landed in the middle of a bitter power struggle between two of the greatest Sith Lords, Naga Sadow and Ludo Kresh. In the Sith Council chambers, the Lords argue over what is to be done with the captives. Kresh fears that the Starbreaker 12 is the precursor to an invasion, while Sadow sees the two trespassers as keys to a new section of the galaxy, ripe for Sith conquest. He feels that if he can unite the squabbling factions against a common enemy, a common goal, then the Sith Empire can rise to new heights of glory. Gav and Jory wait in their cell, sentenced to be executed, despairing, not realizing that they have become pawns of a Sith Lord. With his fierce and loyal Massassi warriors, Naga Sadow secretly steals strange Republic weaponry from the impounded Starbreaker 12 and stages a commando raid to free the prisoners, killing a prominent Sith Lord in the process. Sadow whisks Gav and Jory off to his private fortress on the moon of Kar Shien. The Sith Lords are thrown into an uproar, seeing the weapons, the evidence, and assuming that they have been attacked by the Republic forces. In their turmoil, they turn to Naga Sadow for leadership. Outraged, Ludo Kresh storms off, but Sadow has achieved his greatest desire. He is chosen as the next Dark Lord of the Sith. Our story opens on Ziost, where Naga Sadow is having his mark as a Dark Lord of the Sith tattooed on his forehead. This is a traditional rite of the Sith to signify position or role within the Empire. In the previous installment, Sadow was able to manipulate the other Sith Lords into choosing him as their leader, and he is preparing to take his place. Meanwhile, Empress Teta has arrived at Coruscant with Jedi Knights Odin and Mehmet Nadil in tow. 2 issues ago, Odin received a vision from the Force depicting an onslaught coming from across the galaxy, pointing to the Sith threat marshalling itself in Sith space. Teta goes before the Republic Senate and warns them of the coming threat, but the majority of the Senate remains unconvinced by her plea and is unwilling to act. Unfazed by their indifference, Teta declares that she will prepare the Koros system's military. At his citadel on Kar Shien, Sadow is busy with his machinations. He has spent the time since staging the Daragons' prison escape training Gav in the ways of the Sith magic. Gav demonstrates adept use of the Force, employing Sadow's Sith amulet to conjure up a number of illusions. Sadow compliments Gav's mastery of the Force, telling him that he will be a powerful ally in the coming conflict. Sadow tells him that he should work on perfecting his power if he wants to be ready when the time comes to return home. He leaves Gav and sets about the next stage of his plan. He sends his Massassi warriors to Ziost to steal the Starbreaker 12. Sadow travels to his decoy fortress on Cardelba, where he is holding Jory Daragon. Jory demands to know her brother's location. Sadow assures her that his actions are designed to keep her and Gav safe, and keeping them separated is part of that. She tells him that they will need their ship returned if they are to escape, and Sadow informs her that he is already working on some extreme arrangements. On Ziost, Sadow's Massassi warriors arrive and infiltrate the impound hangar where the Starbreaker 12 is being kept. They kill the guards there and steal the ship. Before taking it, they leave behind an emblem belonging to Naga Sadow. Later, Ludo Kresh investigates the hangar and discovers Sadow's emblem. Kresh deduces that Sadow has stolen the Starbreaker 12, and further, that he has been the one that attacked the prison citadel and killed Simus. The entire ordeal has been a false flag attack to manipulate the Sith Lords into choosing him as their leader. He calls 2 of his fellow Sith Lords, Horak Mul and Dor Gelram, and demands they support his attack on Sadow. Several days later, back on Cardelba, Sadow returns to Jory. He provides her with a holocron from Gav. Gav tells her that the Naga Sadow has been teaching him to use his Force abilities in new ways, that has opened new paths to him. Further, Sadow has made arrangements for Jory to return to the Republic. Sadow takes Jory to the Starbreaker 12. He tells her she is free to return home. Right as she is preparing to leave, Kresh's fleet arrives and begins attacking the Citadel. Jory panics about this, but Naga Sadow is not worried. This is all a part of his plan. This installment is light on action when compared to previous issues, but there's still a lot to like about it. Up to this point in the narrative, Naga Sadow has been depicted as a cold, power-hungry lord, but in Pawns of the Sith Lord, we really get to see him scheming. Sadow moves pieces around the board with a deft hand, playing the different factions' fears and insecurities against them. In the previous issue, he successfully manipulated the Sith Lords into choosing him to succeed Marco Ragnos with a false flag attack, killing his friend and mentor in the process. Despite being the new Dark Lord of the Sith, his power is not consolidated enough to immediately pursue his goals of invading the Republic. More machination is needed. He keeps the siblings separated so that they can be more easily manipulated, and he sets his sights on Gav, recognizing his latent force potential. He sets out to train him as his new Sith Shadow Hand, teaching him the ways of Sith alchemy and magic. Jory is kept separate for the time being, as Sadow has later plans for her. He attacks the hangar storage on Zyos to steal the Starbreaker 12 and makes sure to leave behind evidence that will lead Kresh to him. It's all part of the plan. Ludo Kresh, still suspicious of Sadow, takes the bait hook, line, and sinker, and falls fully into his trap, marshalling his allies and launching an attack against his decoy citadel on Cardelba. Gav and Jory have officially been set on different journeys, allowing them to be seen as individuals for the first time. Jory is kept isolated for future use, while Gav is being trained in the ways of the dark side to be employed in the coming invasion. Sadow is a ruthless monster, but you see his ability to be nurturing and supportive when it serves his purposes. We still don't know how Sadow intends on using Gav in the coming struggle, but seeing how easily he sacrifices those he has reason to care about, we know that it can't be good. We get a brief bit of time with Odin in this issue as he accompanies Empress Teta and Mehmet Nadil on a visit to Coruscant. Teta attempts to warn the Republic Senate, but they are unmoved. She believes Odin vision and will do all she can to prepare, but the Republic is woefully equipped to handle the trouble that will soon come. Our story ends with Ludo Kresh's attack on Sadow incoming. In the final issue, Sadow's feud with Kresh will be decided, and Sadow's plans for the Republic will be unveiled. We will conclude our discussion of the Golden Age of the Sith with issue 5, The Flight of the Starbreaker 12, next time. That issue will then lead into the next series where we will see many of Sadow's plans begin to fully unfold. Which wars from the Star Wars franchise do you like the most? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching.